on the show. So pumped. I let him know short notice, and he's like, hell yeah, let's do it. We're going to talk about his UFC career, Dana White Contender Series. Also, we'll definitely talk a little WrestleMania with my guy, the undefeated Torrez Finney. Torrez, how you doing, my man?
What's up, David, man? Thank you for having me on, gang. All right, look, I'm excited to be here, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Always good to talk to you. Appreciate it. A little short notice. Some stuff. We had to move some stuff around. So I appreciate you coming on. I love the background. You had a good session today at Fusion?
I did. We just got done. We had sparring today. So, yeah, we just got done with sparring. Sparring went really good. And, yeah, man, feeling good. Feeling good.
What was the sad name of that man that had to catch those Finney hands just an hour ago?
Oh man, like, it was a few of them, but we had
Okay.
some really good rounds. We had some really good rounds. You know, it's really good to go with guys like Adolfo Vieira here.
Yes.
You got guys Phil Rowe, Mike Davis, Terrence McKinney, and that's just the start of them. We got a lot of guys on the come up as well. So it's really good to be here at this gym. You know, as a part of the gym I'm training at. You know, a good bit now, along with Scrapyard MMA back at home in Chattanooga. So yeah. Yes,
I love it. I love it. That's funny. Scrapyard was one of the questions. We put it on our socials. Some people had some great questions for you, and Scrapyard was one of them. But before we do, 11-0 as a professional. We all know about the 3 wins in the Contender Series. And it's funny. I actually made a video after your last one. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was absurd to me how much through the social media landscape and the MMA, pundits, whatever you want to say, kind of had negative things to say about you after you won a professional fight in the UFC. Like at the end of the day, that's what you do. You win fights. I know it's been a month past that, but how you feeling coming off that win and everything, all that noise you heard after that fight?
Well, one, for me, and this will be something that everybody will learn. I will never ever be sad about a win. Now,
Correct.
was I not happy with some of my performance? Yes. Like going back and looking at the fight, yes, I know people on social media, everybody's talking, everybody going through their whole tangent. Yeah, it wasn't the most beautiful fight. But I will say that first round, a little bit into that second round, it was going well. There was a lot of mistakes that I made, which people really don't understand that actually don't fight. But there's a lot of mistakes that I made, and in terms for me, I made a lot of mistakes, and yet I still, in my opinion, dominated the fight. Yes, the scorecard was outrageous from Tony Weeks. I still don't understand 30-27. Because if anybody want to look at the unified MMA rule books, I'm a big rule books guy. That's how I've always been that way. The number one criteria is effective striking / effective grappling. So whichever one is dictating the fight. Obviously, my grappling was dictating the fight. I know a lot of people want to say damage trumps all, which is true. I do agree with that. But in theory, what is considered effective? So that's that part where a lot of people, make the mistake. I dominated the first round. The first round went really well, actually. That was the best round for me in the fight. The second round went a good. There's a lot more opportunities. And then that third round went the best. I made a lot of mistakes. Heck, Valentine came out in the third round. He was yelling at me. I'm down 2-0. I got nothing to lose. So the guy that's losing the fight is yelling, "You're down 2-0. I have nothing to lose." Obviously he knows he was losing the fight as well. So I'm not. I know there was a lot of things I could have obviously done a lot better. But again, man, I just want to fight in the UFC. I'm 11-0, undefeated pro. People don't understand. I've only been training MMA for 4.5 years. So in just 4 years, I'm already in the UFC. I'm doing things since last year in May. Since last May, I have fought 4 fights since last May. So like people understand like that just consistency of cutting weight, staying active. This is now a time for me to take some time and just train, just to get better. I was chasing. I was doing a lot of chasing. Going through that whole Contender Series, saga. We're chasing. We try to get in. Now we're in. Now I just need some time to train, which is similar to what I feel like, which we saw this past week. A guy like Bo Nickal, same thing he should do.
We'll get to him a little bit later, my man, for sure. But I was going to say, I'm trying to give you some flowers. 26 years old, good looking, life's good, my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how social media can take a win. At the end of the day, MMA fighters want to be in the UFC. You're in the best, biggest organization on this planet, winning fights. Like, you're living an absolute dream, and only the, higher and higher for sure. One thing before, there's a lot of fight stuff I want to get into, but I do want to take it to another thing. I saw you went out there a couple weeks ago for WrestleMania. I'm a diehard. I don't know if you can see it over this shoulder. I got the Pat McAfee figure right there.
I
I
see
got
it.
McAfee
Yeah.
versus Gunther at Backlash on Saturday. I'm pumped.
Okay.
I'm a diehard, my man. So how was it? Have you always been a fan? And how was it going to Las Vegas for WrestleMania?
Been a fan since the day I was born. Look, I am a huge pro wrestling fan. I love the WWE. Heck, I was just messaging some guys today. I'm going to NXT tonight, so I'm a huge fan, man. And
At the
yeah,
Performance Center.
that's right, here in Orlando. That's right.
Me and my son Dylan, we've been there 5 times. It's funny, we're skipping this week. I go all the time, Torres. All the time we go.
Oh man, I didn't know that. See,
Yeah, I'm
this
a
is my
Florida
first
guy.
time going to it. I didn't know. I know you're a Florida guy, but this is my first time going to the
It's
Performance
incredible.
Center.
It's incredible.
Wow.
For one, you're at the PC, which is a great, and then it looks so big on TV. It's so small. It's
Wow.
maybe the same size as Fusion. It's a real tight knit thing. They pack everyone in. It's fun and it's so loud. You're gonna have a blast tonight. You're gonna have a blast.
Oh, I'm excited. Well, I'm excited now. You got me pumped up. You got me really pumped up.
Hey,
but
say
yeah.
his name. He might appear though.
Ooh. Hey.
We're too inside. We're too inside. So you've always been a wrestling fan.
Yes. I've always been a wrestling fan. Look, WrestleMania for me, that was my second ever WrestleMania. I went to the one in Atlanta. I'm from Georgia. I went to the one in Atlanta 2011.
The Miz versus John Cena.
Miz versus Cena. Rock was the guest host.
Yeah.
And
Randy Orton versus CM Punk.
That's right. Undertaker versus Triple H, no holds barred. I'll never forget that match for the rest of my life, man. That was one of those things that I was like, oh my gosh. And so what people forget is about that WrestleMania. Undertaker didn't walk out to his original Dead Man entrance theme song. He walked out to Ain't No Grave by Johnny Cash.
Okay.
So that was really cool to experience that, see him do his thing. But yes, this WrestleMania was epic, man. For obviously first 2-night WrestleMania I went to both Saturday and Sunday. The crowd on night 2 compared to night 1, oh my gosh. Oh really? My goodness, dude. It was epic, man. Like, oh, dude. That was
Joe Henry, the female championship match to kick off the night was incredible.
The triple threat match?
Yeah, incredible. Bro. And then you had Cena. Are you a Cena guy or not a Cena guy?
I am a Cena guy, but I honestly, I was back and forth between him and Rose in this one. Because I was like, man, we just had this whole Rose story last year, which I loved it. And then now, I understand Cena getting his 17, it's cool. And it's good to see him as a heel because I'm excited for Backlash. I'm excited for him to be a heel against Orton, be a heel against Punk maybe, be a heel against whoever. It'll be cool to see him make that stride.
2 more little wrestling questions, then I got the rest of stuff. Everyone wants to hear you about MMA and Bo Nickal. They're like, what are these boys talking about? Are you going to Saturday night's main event and Battleground and Raw in Tampa in 3 weeks?
I actually would have went. I would have went. But my best friend, he's having his wedding stuff, so I'm a part of his wedding, so I'm gonna be a part of that. But I'm gonna miss that one. But I know it's in Tampa. I definitely would have went. I for sure would have went.
Okay. All right. Well, he's not that good of a best friend if he did not. And then last one for me, I saw you, of course, Dana White was there, and then at WrestleMania, DC and Colby and multiple. And now they're on the same umbrella. Would you love, after you win the UFC middleweight championship in 2028, 2029, would you love to try to get into this world a little bit?
A brother like me, look, I'm already planting seeds.
Okay,
I'm talking here. I'm talking there. Yes, I definitely would love to get in the pro wrestling world. I've always, I tell this story all the time when I do interviews. Growing up, I used to be on the trampoline with me and all my cousins, all my friends, and we're basically doing the WWE stuff. That's why I feel like I get really confident when I'm on the mic, when I'm doing what I do inside the cage. And that's a part of just me being me. That's the kid in me. That's the 8-year-old Finney. That's the 7-year-old Finney. So now, with me being in the UFC, obviously, actually what I'm doing, I still pull out some of that pro wrestling thing in me. And to actually be able to go out there and do it exactly, that would be the kid in me. And I would, wouldn't pass that up at all.
All right. Like I said, I knew we were going to talk about it. I saw it. I think it was on Twitter. You said, hey, I would love this opportunity. And this is going back to what you did a month ago. Maybe it wasn't the best performance, or vice versa. But you got the win. You keep moving up. Bo Nickal had a bad performance, and he didn't look good. He took his first L. I know that's something that maybe excites you, a matchup that excites you in the future. How quick do you think you and Nickal could get linked up?
I definitely think they're gonna take some time to allow Nickel to grow.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest. I think those long layoffs, because he doesn't have enough experience, is one of those things that hurts him a little bit. Like even for me, when I take it's like 5-6 months between me getting in the cage, it's like freak because you're not accustomed to that. When you've wrestled, like he's wrestled in a higher stage than I am, but when you've wrestled for so long, you wrestle 2 or 3 matches, 4 or 5 matches within a week. It's a
Right.
lot more consistent. I'm playing football. We play a game every week, for about 15, 16 straight weeks. Same thing with any other sport. It's a lot more consistent, but MMA and like more martial arts, obviously some boxing and things like that nature, you don't fight as often. So it takes some time to get that experience. And he didn't have much of an amateur career. I mean, he only had 2 Emmy fights
Yeah.
and he went pro.
I called one of them. I was on the commentating for one of those fights, one of his
Island
Emmys.
fights. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I do remember that because I've watched Bo. The moment Bo got into MMA, that's the time I've always wanted to fight him. He got in around the time I was getting ready to have my last amateur fight. So, I still was amateur because I was only an amateur for a year myself. And again, I don't have as much experience cage time either because a lot of my fights were quick. I mean, just to be honest, a lot of his fights were quick.
Good.
So it's that time that you need inside the cage. And compared to a guy like the Ritter, I mean, come on, he's just fighting a two division champion from one is
Yeah.
respectable promotion. I
Yeah.
mean, bro, you gotta. That's a tough fight. I know it was a tough fight the moment it was made, and yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. I totally agree. And we're going back to the UFC, but this is a good one. Our main man, Sean, goes, Torrez, you need to come to WWE and join the New Day as a Big E replacement. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad
Hey,
idea, Sean.
I'm down, man. Look, hey, new. They rocks. Hey, new. Hey, I would definitely do it, man. Look, I saw them at Mania as well. That was really
Yeah.
cool. I'll take a Xavier Woods spot. We're about the same height. I'll take his spot.
I like that. The fight. Where are you? Are you looking for a fight? Do you have something maybe close to being signed and can't talk about it, or are you just getting in those Tuesday sparring sessions at Fusion, just waiting on that phone call?
I'm currently, reaching out. I try my best to get on the Atlanta card.
Yeah.
Because that's my home. That's my actual home. Georgia is my home. But if I can't get on that, I would like to get on the Nashville, Tennessee card, which I already put in for. My teammate Trevor Peak is, I think he's going to be slated for that card. So me and Trevor, for as long as we've been teammates, we've never fought on the same card. So how fitting it would be for us to fight on the same card for the first ever time within the UFC. So that would be really cool. Trevor Peak, he's my boy. It'd be really cool because there's one thing about us. We know how to sell out a place. And I know, like, yeah, it's the UFC, the name, the banter is going to sell wherever it goes. But I'm telling you, man, like a crowd, like for me and a crowd for Trevor Peak, especially close to home, it'll be epic. You can put me anywhere on the card. You can put me the first fight of the night. You can put
Yeah.
me anywhere on the card, and that place will be rocking because we have just a really big support down here in the South, and I think I want that a lot more for the UFC to come to the Southeast a little bit, man. Like
Yeah.
we have a lot of support down here. We
I
do.
love it. I love it. I got two more fun things, but like I said, I did a social media thing and we're about to do that. But a great question just came in on the chat here. They go, Torres, prediction for Cosmat versus Dricus du Plessis.
So again, one of my favorite fighters within the UFC is Shamaev. I definitely think Shamaev first round is hell for anybody. He beats anybody in the first round.
Yeah.
But I definitely think if DDP can outlast the further the fight goes, I definitely think he can handle Shamaev. It'll be interesting because we'll see Shamaev. He's preparing for a 5-round fight. He's preparing for a war. And I think DDP, as we've seen before, he make the ugliest fight. Like when it's chaos, that's his fight.
Yeah.
So how will Shamaev perform in chaos? We've seen him do it against Burns, but we need to see him against a guy, that size and that caliber like DDP, who's very much all around on both the striking and grappling.
And this is the funny thing. I would love your take on this, Torres. Like, I'm a bold believer in like, do you whatever brought you to this dance do you like? I got 4 kids. I got the Pat McAfee figure behind me. Like wherever I do, I bring them up or I bring that with me. That's just who I am. If I get signed for the ESPN on one day, I will mention my kids live on broadcast, right? Like I'm rewinding a couple weeks ago. I'm going back to the Chimaev. I'm bringing this back together, I promise. But Carlos Prats was this aggressive striker, finisher, and all of a sudden his first time in the main event with 5 rounds, he seemed like he was like, trying to pace himself. I don't think Chimaev should do that. I know 5 rounds and the 4th round be great for Dreykus. Chimaev should go on a train right away. Try to get Dreykus out in 3 minutes. Whatever brought you to that dance, I think you should do. Are you with that, or should you I understand it's a championship fight and you don't want to drain yourself, but I think whatever brings you to it, you should run with.
Well, you just like you talk just like my coaches do. You know, like we talk about, we put a lot of things in football terms, and we're like, all right, be Georgia, be Alabama. You know, like with me, my wrestling is my dominant thing.
Yeah,
those guys was running the football. Georgia, Alabama, big time running the football. Why would they get into a big time game and start throwing the ball? Why would they do something to start like, let me throw the ball 40 times in this game? No, don't get away from what got you to the dance. Exactly. That's why I was a little, discouraged from Bo in the Paul Craig fight, because he got away from what made him who he is. Like I don't fear anybody's grappling. Like just as much as Bo Nickal's a top tier wrestler, I'm shooting on him. Just as much as anybody else is a grappler, like I'm shooting on him because I don't fear anybody's grappling. I go with some of the best grapplers. Adolfo Vieira is one of the best grapplers in the world. Yeah. Like I'm not scared to shoot on anybody. So that's the same way I feel about a guy like you said, like Chimaev. Go sprint in that first round. Sprint. Yeah, we see what it did on Robert Whitaker. It took, nobody ever thought he sprinted on Kamar Usman. Like, go sprint. Go do you. Go do you.
I love it. I love it. All right, like I said, here's some social media questions. We got some good ones in there. This one goes, why do fight fans not like you? We love you, Torrez.
Well, look, you got to remember, I fight for my family and the people that support me, and for the God above that I love. Those are the people that I fight for. You're going to have haters, but I'm going to tell you what. If you have haters, that means you're doing something right. And that's a good thing for me. I'm glad I got people that don't like me. Is actually not as common, but I went through this a little bit in high school. Like, it's funny. I was the underdog my junior year, and I won the state championship beating the guy that was the main guy. Then I became the senior, and I was the undefeated senior wrestler, and I won my state championship my senior year. But during that year, everybody was wanting me to lose. And I'm like, wait a minute. Just last year, everybody rooting for me. Now everybody wants me to lose.
like Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 40 to 41. It was all his story. Now Vegas turned.
Now everybody wants Cody to lose. Yeah, that's crazy.
Next question, they go, have you ever trained with Josh Cate?
Josh Cate. I've never trained with him. No. I've never trained with him, but I definitely have met Josh Cate. He's from Knoxville. I know of him. So yeah. I definitely know Josh Cate, and we've done some commentary together for some of the Aries Fight Series things. So yeah, he's a really good guy, really cool guy.
Nice. They go, what's your thoughts on Asmit Bokayev? I guess he had a call out of you, Bokayev?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw Bokayev called me out. He was doing a lot of talking. Look, he's just trying to get clout. Look, I don't fear nobody. I mean, if that's the fight that they want to make, so be it. But
that's a great fight.
I don't really care, anything that he says, social media wise or anything. I'm not into those type of antics. Okay. I'm a guy that go out there and compete, go out here, get the win, and be on to the next.
I love it. What would you give yourself in punch power for UFC 5, the video game?
I got some power. I would give myself a 9. I give it out of 10. If it was a rating out of 10, what's the rating?
Or is it at 100? Is it like Madden? Like speed of 94?
Well, if that's the case, then I give it a 90. 90. Okay. If that's the case. Okay. If it's out of 100, I give it a 90.
I like it. We kind of answered. They go, Torrez, are you looking to fight on the Atlanta card? We already talked about that. You said absolutely. Mm-hmm. But is that card booked? Do you know the
it's mainly booked. It is mainly booked.
Last one, they go, who's a prospect to be on the lookout from Scrap Yard MMA?
A prospect I would say to be on the lookout for. He's a kid. Well, he's not a kid, but he's young. He's coming up. His name is Montavious. Montavious Ware. Montavious is a pro boxer, but we're getting him into MMA. And let me tell you something. I know more like, oh, he's a boxer, but no, he's a really good pro boxer. He's got fast hands, but he's so athletic. And we're working on his grappling and things, and he's picking up the grappling. Like I think he'll be one of the next guys coming up. He got power in his hands, and he's fast. Boy,
I
is he
love that.
fast.
It's so funny you said that. You have that wrestling base and you got into MMA, maybe working on the hands. This is the
Mhm.
boxer opposite. If you get you can mold yourself into a mixed martial artist. What's the base? I would always pick wrestling. I feel like you control where the fight's going to be. If you even want it standing and banging, you can do that. If you had a base to start with, what bases would you pick?
I definitely would take the base I got currently. I
Yeah.
definitely would continue to stick with wrestling because wrestling is hard to learn. No matter like I'm seeing guys, I grapple with guys that's been in the MMA game for years, and like, oh, I've done a lot of wrestling, and I wrestle with them like, man, they ain't got it, and it's
Yeah.
mainly because of they're just certain things and movements that you can't teach an adult that you can teach a kid.
Right.
Similar to again, kids that grow up boxing. There's certain movements and things like it's hard for the adult to eventually grasp compared to the kid grasping. When you're young, is it anything is easy to grasp? That's why those, again, all those Russians growing up wrestling, because it's second nature
Great
to them.
point.
So
Great point.
that's the
Great
thing with
point.
me is like growing up wrestling was one of those things that became second nature to me.
Yeah, like just we brought up Pat McAfee a couple of times. He watched it so much. There's stuff in the ring that he even does that you just kind of you pick up on. The
You know how to do.
mannerisms and how you hit the road. There's just little things like that. And again, like being a wrestler, doing it as a kid. There's this, I watch, a lot of MMA and a lot of even amateur wrestling and stuff of that nature. But I never done it, so there's just things about footwork and knees, and I just wouldn't
Very
get.
true.
Crazy. All right, I got two big last things for you, two fun stuff. It's a fighter resume, and this one's one of our favorites. You're a middleweight, undefeated middleweight, but Mount Rushmore, four beautiful faces, middleweight division, Torrez Finney. Who is your middleweight Mount Rushmore?
Middleweight round Rushmore. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna go with Israel. Israel Adesanya. He's up there.
Gotcha. Got that.
Anderson Silva.
Got that.
Uh, man. Middleweight. I mean, dude, who else was there? I mean, what? Luke Rockhold, maybe.
There's Rock.
Luke
Let
was.
me throw out a couple because it was fun. We did this last week with another middleweight in the PFL, and there's like six guys that you can maybe put up there, all kind of close. You ready?
Yeah,
Chris
they're close.
Weidman, Luke
Christian.
Rockhold, Michael Bisping,
It's
Rich
been
Ace Franklin was up there.
Rich Franklin.
And then I know it's people will be like, really? Dricus Duplessis, went through it. I know he's young. I know he's fighting, but it's hard.
Whitaker.
But
Yeah.
Lyoto
Yeah.
Machida is up there.
Oh yeah, Machida. Yeah.
Machida.
Okay, that's right. You got Machida. I'm gonna say this. You got to put Whitaker because look at the guys Whitaker has beaten. Like,
Bobby Knuckles. Yeah.
but you got to put Whitaker because look at he's running. He's still running through the top 10 and he's not even in there. There we go. Maybe Whitaker. That's true. And then so I got Silva, Izzy, Whitaker, and that is between Machida and if Dricus is able to beat Shemaev, put Dricus.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to. I mean, look, this guy beating who? Like he's beating Izzy. He's beating Whitaker. He beat Bronson. He beat Sean Strickland. Yeah, come on, man. Come on.
All right, so we'll do the other. We'll do Izzy, Anderson, and Whitaker. We'll do them in stone, and we'll do Machida in a grass. So if
That's
we need
right.
to move
That's
them,
right.
you know what I'm saying? We'll do it. We'll do it
for sure.
All right. One last thing we like to do. I'm going to give you some hints, Torrez, and then we're going to guess this. All right, here we go. I'm going to give you some hints, and when you think you got them, you can shout them out, and we'll see if we get there. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, first one. His record is 24-7.
Within the UFC?
No, so he's 12-4 in the UFC. He's a UFC middleweight.
Crazy enough, I know this might sound crazy. I might have to go with Robert Whitaker.
No, not Whitaker, not Whitaker. He has a win versus Kevin Holland, a win versus Sam Alvey, a win versus Chris Curtis.
Brendan Allen.
Brendan Allen is it.
Yeah.
Man, I got 7 more for you. You knew that pretty good. You knew that.
Oh, that was good. That was a good one. I had to think about because I said that's a lot of UFC fights. Only 4 losses. That means he's highly ranked. So to think about it.
Losses: Imamov, Strickland, Eric Anders. A lot of people forgot that loss against Eric Anders back in the day.
Anders and Chris Curtis again.
Yeah, right. Chris Curtis. My man, Torrez Finney. Unbelievable conversation. Love talking to you. Hey, I'll hit you up on the I think I got your cell. If not, I'll hit you up on the DMs. Yeah. I'm going to be out there in Tampa. The next time I go to I always take my boy. He loves it. He's 8. He's hooked. We go to that NXT all the time.
Are you going to NXT next week? Because I'll still be here in Florida next week. So
yeah, if you're going to go, I think I'll plan to go then. If you're there, I'll go.
Bet. Let's do it.
My man, Torrez, appreciate you. Talk to you soon, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
All right. The undefeated Torrez Finney. Unbelievable. Love me some Torrez Finney. All right.